Hey guys, it's KJ with Team BALCA Black for a lap around Spa. So to set up a lap, you're coming into this chicane. I am using the 100-meter board right here as a braking reference marker. So I'm braking around 150-ish. So hard braking since it's a little uphill. Trying to keep it around 80% to stay out of the ABS and getting as close to the curbing as possible, but not on it because then the suspension's bumping and you get into the ABS. Aiming to get as close to the sausage as possible through here, and I'm trying to late apex this one a little bit. So late apex this turn, trying to get as close to this sausage as possible. Making sure that the late apex sets you up wide for the exit down to the pit straight. Here, I don't like getting on this curb at all because I find that it has the rear step out a little bit for me. So I am aiming for this line in the curb right here to get my two tires on that. And this is another late apex. Late apex getting on 50% throttle, like right at the apex, because there is a little camber and compression, so you can get away with it. Staying off of this exit curb just because I find you get into the TC and lose a little bit of time. Coming into the first turn, right here is a compression. So right as the car is coming in, it compresses down. I go 100% brakes around the 75-meter mark. I'm using the 50 board as a braking reference marker, and just making sure that your two left side tires are on the white line. But using the compression to help you braking, you can get into the 100%. And then right around the 50 meters when I start bleeding off the 100% back down to 80. And then turning in, I use this as a turn in point. It just helps me make sure I'm super consistent to where I'm turning in. Turning in, trying to get as close to this wall as possible and scaring these little guys right here. And using this compression right here allows you to get on to throttle. I like to get on throttle really aggressively through here, keeping it around 80%ish, 90%ish throttle, and then when you're coming out of the compression, just slowly adding that throttle back so you're not getting into the TC. Because if you're mashing straight to 100 through the compression, your rear's just going to step out and then your whole straight is cooked. Coming down into El Rouge, I am trying to get as close as possible to the wall to carry the speed. This is where I'm aiming right here. Is my left of the car is trying to be where this black part of the track swoops up around the corner. So I'm aiming for my left tires to be right here on the turn. So you can eat a lot of this curb. I don't know where the off track is here. I'm pretty sure if your tires touch the grass, it's the off track, but I'm not 100% sure on that. Coming up and through here, I turn in pretty early, get onto the curb. This is another important one. I like to put my car onto the curb here. I find it saves a little bit of time. But if the off track for this one and the slowdown is when half your car is past the curb. I find that if I get my car pretty close to half, it bounces a little bit and you're losing a couple kilometers an hour up through the straight, and that is not good for how long the straight is. And also, I'm just making sure I'm allowing the wheel to shake a little bit, having super light hands over it, just letting the car wiggle around when it needs to make sure I'm carrying all the speed I can to the straight. Onto the straight into this little section right here. I am braking at the start of the curbing and using all of the curbing. So start braking, and as you can see, I'm pointing my car to make sure my left tires are almost onto the grass. Using all the curbing to carry more entry speed into the turn. I'm aiming for this green part. I want my 2 right side tires on this green part. Helps with rotation of the car and saving time. This turn right here, you can basically throw more than half your car over. I like to throw my car halfway over the curb. So throwing the car halfway over, being really aggressive on throttle again. This is another important one. I'm down to about 30% throttle, slowly bleeding off. Basically a quick lift before I turn in settles the car. The quick lift settles the car, and I'm aiming for my 2 right side tires again onto the screen section of the curb. And using all of this curb, making sure you can use all this curb. The off track occurs when half of your car is over the curb. So you can use some of the gravel. I don't like to because I find it gets on the tires and it messes you up for no name. Coming into no name, I am braking at the curbing again. Basically braking straight at the curbing to 80%. So coming in 80%, keeping it hard. This is my first apex. Right here is this green little section. So I'm here, I'm still around 40% braking. Trailing off super fast, carrying the speed through no name. Trail. As you can see, I was carrying a little bit too much speed for my liking, so I had to apply a little more brake to help me slow it down and get it turned in. Super aggressive on throttle. I'm second through here on the exit, basically straight to 100%. Here's where a lot of people lose a lot of time for over braking. As you can see, I'm braking and I'm still on throttle. It's a bad habit of mine. But you want to be able basically get up onto this curb, slight trail braking. Don't miss the ape. Oh, I didn't miss the apex here. Sweet. Basically trying to get as close to the sausage as possible here. Super aggressive on throttle. 80% to 100%. Trying to use all of this curb on the exit to carry all the speed down. Here again, using all of the curb. This curb is sketchy, so if you find that you find yourself spinning out on the entry, don't take the curb. But what I do is light braking. Basically, I'm not getting to the 80% mark. I'm around 70-ish percent on brake, and even then my rear steps out a little bit. I felt the rear when I was going through here step out a little bit. So I'm basically using this little white post as a braking reference marker. So around 70% brake, trailing, and then aggressive on throttle for this left sweeper. I try not to get over. I try to get as close to this curve as possible, but I don't want to go over it because then you're just losing time. And then on the exit, I see a lot of people understeering out. They're putting in too much steering input, which scrubs speed throughout the turn. So I like to keep trying to keep the steering wheel as straight as possible, and I'm slowly opening it up as I'm exiting through here to try to carry as speed for this little straightaway. Coming into the next section, here I'm using this curb again as a braking reference point. So coming in here, basically right when I'm under the sign is when I'm starting to brake. So coming in, braking, down into third gear through here. I am aiming for this green part again. And I'm trying to get my tires up onto here because I help it finds with rotation of the car to keep it as far right as possible. Full throttle, little dab of the brake to help me get the front end down to help me turn in. I don't like getting my tires up on this curb anymore because I find it just understeers you off into the gravel trap. So I'm basically trying to get my tires on the white line. And you can be super aggressive on throttle as this is a high speed section. Still third gear through here. Using all of the exit curbing. Quick shift into fourth and then getting on top of this curb and downshifting back into third. Here's another turn where I find a lot of people lose time. This one yearns to be turned in early on. I like to try to get my car around here. This is where I want my car to be. This is my apex, not right here, because I find a lot of people are turning in here and turning in way too early. So late apexing this to make sure you're carrying enough speed as possible. So there's my apex. This is my apex right here. Is my front tires are in line before it goes from the green part onto this cobblestone part. Full throttle as I'm in third gear for this one. Full throttle using all the exit curb. Staying on the exit curb through here. I'm short shifting into fourth before the turn. For me, because that helps it settles the rear end of the car. Through here. Basically keeping it flat. Keeping it flat through here is most important. This is very important going onto the back straight. Short shift into fourth. Trying to keep the wheel basically as open through possible in here, through here. Trying to carry as much speed as possible. Getting my car as far right as possible here, and I cut here. Coming into here, I see a lot of people putting their car and basically having their left side tires on the white line. I don't understand why they do that because this is flat right here and this is cambered. This is cambered, so you're losing grip when you're out here, and I find that you lose a little speed turning in. So I like to keep basically my right side tires on the white line or a little bit over it because I find you have way more grip through here, through Puan, to carry as much speed as possible through. Still flat, light hands again, trying to keep the wheel as open as possible to carry all the speed that you can through this turn. Coming into the final chicane again, using the 100-meter board as a braking reference point. Getting my car set up to the left side, not onto the curbing. Downshifting into second gear. First gear. And that is a lap around Spa.